Today, May 25th, another active shooting event has happened in Indiana. Previous to this, we've had two in a recent time frame, 27 lives taken. Around the nation, people are asking what can be done. And even in Santa Fe, a well-known program that's backed by two different government entities for recommendation, who solely focuses on law enforcement response, and even in that regard, they don't focus on a single officer. They have a discussion on it, they talk about it, but it's not a specific technique for law enforcement respond. And that's something that needs to be done as well. Law enforcement has to have policies, and for you all who are out there that do not know, there's not a law enforcement agency in this country that has a policy on one officer entering. They may allow them to or tell them to, which is good, but not a policy, and they don't have a technique. The Federal Law Enforcement Training Center Active Shooter Program has a technique, and it's a good one. Personally, the technique that I teach for law enforcement comes from my mentor, who was former Combat Actions Group, or Delta. It's from years and years of combat experience that technique works. If you're law enforcement, we do know it, we do teach it. My staff is former special operations, including that mentor. For the schools and businesses, not just anyone can do an assessment, and it cannot be just a few layers of an assessment. Just because you go to a one-day training, like in the state of Tennessee, I've heard, it was an unannounced one-day training, and if you don't use those people to do your assessment, then the schools do not get the funding from the state. In my opinion, that's not the way to do business, because how do you know how expert somebody is? First of all my instructors are certified through F.A.S.T and the Active Shooter Threat Program. Like myself, we all have been active shooter threat instructors. We've all conducted lots of close quarter battle. We all have sat on the other side of the room to see what that looks like. We've all done the academic study, or most of us have at least, truly done the academic study of the trends, and the trends are what tell us where the vulnerabilities are. We actually have physical techniques that we teach how to protect yourself in the room, and that's derived from different law enforcement experience, military understanding of tactics and operations, how to overwhelm someone, the use of martial arts, which several of our staff members, including I, have had 30 plus years in. And it's a very specific technique that is high percentage, that uses overwhelming force, and also uses surprise. No one out there is teaching a technique like that. They're not teaching how to move down hallways for unarmed civilians or how to evacuate. And there are specific techniques that you can teach that are simple, gross motor, that are completely understood easily, to look into a danger area before you enter it, inside and out through the hallways. They're not teaching that. That's what schools need. You have to have the complete package. You have to have a security assessment that is extravagant, that looks at every single angle. For example, an alarm system that alerts police immediately, allowing police to have access to your CCTV so they can see what's going on. So a faster response, and they know where this person is, which gives their officers a tactical advantage. Lockdown procedures with two-door locks. But then the worst case scenario, there's physical techniques. I've been on social media a lot. I've been on 3 different news segments detailing this. Our website, fitdieselstrength.com, or straight to active shooter programming, fitdieselstrength.com/FAST, F-A-S-T, for Fit Diesel Active Shooter Training Program, outlines exactly what we do. And for those who are interested in the program, there is more information you can get once you receive our NDA and sign, because it's copyrighted material. Please let us help. Tell your superintendents, tell your politicians. It has to be people who have expert knowledge of dealing with unarmed civilians against an armed attacker. And that's not a normal thing. I didn't learn this in law enforcement when I was a police officer. And I know law enforcement are trying to help out the schools and tell them what to do, but you can't just say lock the door and hide. That is not enough. And they do not conduct security assessments. That's not what law enforcement does. They come to help you during a crime to save your life. That's what they do. Ask any law enforcement agency, and they're not going to admit they do countermeasures for unarmed civilians, and they do not teach security assessments and how to do them thoroughly. We have the staff with the credentials and the certifications We have the complete program from the intelligent portion of it and security assessments to the physical techniques. Please let us help. Pass this around, let the politicians know, let the superintendents know, because otherwise, if you have a security assessment that's not thorough enough, you're gonna have Santa Fe. They had a security assessment, and they had SROs on site. They did not have one-way entry in and out of that school for visitors or anybody else. And they didn't have other measures in place that can detect or look for firearms. And plenty of other measures as well. And now Santa Fe is moving to a one-way entry, one-way exit. FitDieselStrength.com, we're begging you to let us help. We do not like seeing children lose their lives, or anybody losing their lives in that matter. Have a great day, and God bless.